Hi, fourth grade. So Wednesdays are usually the day when I have my kindness club meetings. Um, so I of course wanted to make a video for that today because it is such an important thing to remember, especially right now during this crazy time that we're going through. So I wanted to reassure you and let you know that I brought home all of your flower pots and I've been taking good care of them, okay? I haven't said anything mean to them, only nice words, and I've been watering them every day and having them by my windows so that the sunshine can come in. And I think this is Jonathan's, so they're in good hands, okay? I wanted to start today by reading you a chapter from our book, Love Does, okay? So you can go ahead and find a comfortable spot and just listen. It's a short story. Um, and it's called Pack Light. Sweet Maria could tell that our kids were up to something. The kids called her into the living room to make an announcement. Mom, Richard began in a confident, excited voice, we've decided to run away from home. We're going on an adventure together. Leaving home is a serious part of growing up, but it usually happens after kids are old enough to drive themselves to the store to buy their own fruit snacks. At the time, the kids were ages 7, 5, and 3, not quite old enough to leave home. With their siblings at their sides, though, our kids decided that they were ready to take on the world. There was always the possibility that they might be eaten by a bear or a tiger, but the kids weren't too afraid of that. Matching their sincerity and excitement, Sweet Maria responded, Can I help you pack? Sweet Maria could tell that this was one of those important moments of childhood, whimsy, and adventure. Richard raided the pantry for dinosaur fruit snacks. Lindsay dug through Sweet Maria's side of the closet looking for scarves. And Adam sat on the floor of the bathroom going through a drawer in search of bandages. Here's the picture of them, all getting ready to go on their adventure. The kids set off out the back door, outfitted with a few supplies and a lot of excitement. They had sticks over their shoulders with bundles tied to the ends, bulging under the weight of fruit snacks and bandages. The Goff kids' great adventure as runaways began in a corner of the front yard. Their route led them up the side yard, along the back wall, around the garage, and up to the other front corner of the yard. Somewhere along the route, possibly near the garage, the rations disappeared completely. Richard and Adam looked a little guilty with their cheeks stuffed. That's okay, Lindsay said. We can live off the land. None of the kids actually knew what it meant to live off the land, but figured it had to do something with mud pies. They knew they would have enough, not because they had packed a lot to bring with them, but because they had each other. By dinner time, the kids decided they'd had enough of life on the road and came back inside. They'd had a great day and couldn't wait to share their experience with Sweet Maria and me. Jesus often reminded his friends not to worry about things like clothes and food when they went on their adventures, because they had a Father in heaven who would take care of those things. What I learned from watching Lindsay, Richard, and Adam's brief life on the road, well, in our backyard, was that they didn't need those things either. Instead, they needed things like courage and kindness and curiosity. The kids weren't afraid to leave home because they had each other. We don't have to be afraid when we go on adventures either. Trust God, go with people you love, and follow where Jesus leads you. So I really loved that story for today because especially as we are, staying in our homes and making sure we're not going out, it's kind of tricky, and you have to remember that even though you're confined to these tight quarters and you have to stay put and get your work done at home, it's important to remember that God will always provide for us and he's always there for us, looking out for us, right? Now, I know that a lot of you have siblings at home, and I know, and I can speak from experience, that when you are in confined areas with siblings, things do not always go as smoothly and as nicely as you might want them to. So here's a picture of my family. So here's all of my siblings. I have, let me see, Natalie, Andrew, Nathaniel, Alex, Nick, and me. Okay? And if you look closely at this picture, we're all smiling. We're all very happy to be there and to be with one another. What you don't know is that this picture was taken when we were on a trip. We were on a vacation at the beach, and It just so happened to work out that we all stayed in the same bedroom together. So there were 2 big bunk beds, and there were 6 of us. So there were 2 people who could sleep on the bottom bunks, and then 1 person on each of the top bunks. So that was 6 people in 1 room. Now, if you can imagine, things did not go. I mean, we were all like, I think mainly I was very excited. I was like, oh, yay, we all get to sleep in the same room. It'll be so fun. Well, after like the first night, that was not the case. I think in the middle of the night, one of my brothers on the top bunk, I think it was Nick, he like dropped a bunch of coins. They like fell out of his bed or something onto the floor, and they made this really loud noise. And it was funny because you could tell that all of my other siblings were so annoyed. We were like, oh my gosh, what time is it? And people were yelling at each other, and it wasn't super fun. And I mean, in that moment, we were all like, oh, I can't stand living with these people right now. But at the end of the day, it's so important to remember that we do love our siblings, and especially during this time when they're all that we can hang out with right now, or your parents, and if you don't have any siblings, just the people in your home are the people that you have right now to be with, and you can really spend some good time with them. Now, not everything's going to go as planned. You may get into some fights. That does happen. I know that happens. But just remember that, you should be looking out for each other. Try to be understanding with each other. Everyone's going to be a little bit antsy and a little bit restless while we're spending so much time together and in our homes. But it's also important to remember that we're so lucky that we can have those people to spend so much time with, right? And those people that really do care about us when it comes down to it. Now, I wanted to offer you some kindness advice because we always have a kindness mission every week. And I know that can be hard when you have to keep your distance from people. You're not allowed to really interact with people. But there is something that we can all do that won't cause any spreading of the virus, and it's very easy to do, and I've seen you all do it because it makes my day when you do. Something we can do is just smile, right? So smiling and being kind and just showing people that we're happy and that we're there for each other is such a good way to spread our kindness right now. So I'm going to offer you some advice from Mr. Rogers. Now, I know you're all familiar with Mr. Rogers, but he says it in a very nice way. He has a little poem about how a smile is the style. If you'd like to be in style, here's a tip that's worth your while. If you're happy, you'll look snappy. Just pick out your biggest smile. No one really is impressed with the way that we're dressed. All the grinners are the winners. With a smile, you'll look your best. My suggestion is expression. Keep a bright look. It's the right look. If your eyes glow and your teeth show, it's a sure sign that you feel fine. You'll be welcome every place, and you'll win the fashion race if you're wearing and you're sharing a real smile upon your face. So with that is my advice to you during this next week for your kindness mission. I would suggest that you try your best to smile and try your best to get along with your siblings, though it may be hard. Saying you're sorry and asking for forgiveness goes a really long way, all right? All right, thanks, 4th grade.